Hi, YouTube. I want to start something different. Not that it's going to be something that I'm going to do from now on, but I woke up a while ago and in the morning I heard this continuous repeating of a word. The word was preserve. Now I know that the world provides us with a lot of different people that love to have these prophecies that, give us this type of hope. And some of them you can discern that it comes from God, right? It comes from Yah. But then you find yourself some of them that is like you can almost see the plastic in there. It's not spirit filled, and something about it just makes it feel, it makes it feel as though somebody did that just to receive likes and subscribes. I'm just gonna say it as it is. And so it's great maybe for someone that is down in his life and he needed a pick-me-up. But if it's not true, it's still not true, So all that I got was that preserve, right? So I thought, well, maybe I just wanted me to go and have a look in his word to see what does he say about preservation when he mentions preserve in his word. So this is not a word from God, okay? I'm not going to say this is the word from God and there's some warning in there or whatever. But I'm going to read out of the word of God, out of the word of Yah. I'm going to read, and I'm just going to show you what does he say about this preserve. And I have found some really cool stuff, actually. Didn't think much about it at the time when I woke up. I'm going to continue on with this. I'll start reading from the book of Jubilees. Jubilees 21, verse 20. And take no present or gift for the blood of man. Take no present or gift for the blood of man, blood for blood, that you may be accepted before Yahweh El Elyon. For he is the defense of the good, and that you may be preserved from all evil, and that he may save you from every kind of death. Okay? That's very interesting. That is very interesting. Enoch 48, verse 6. In his presence he existed and has revealed to the saints, to the called out ones. That's what that word saint actually means, the called out ones. The set apart children of Yah. And to the righteous, the wisdom of Yahweh of hosts, Yahweh of the armies. For he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and rejected this world of iniquity and have detested all its works and ways in the name of Yahweh Sebaot. I think the reason why Yah is trying to hint towards this is for us to see who will be preserved. Who are the ones that will be preserved? It won't be the ones that is all mouth and no action. It won't be the ones that say that this is what they do, but they don't do it. But they, I follow Yah, but I live in the world. That's an unequal yoke. Those that are unequally yoked will not be preserved. I'm not going to sit here and tell you or curse anyone and say that where you're going to go. You can read the word of Yah for yourself and then find out where are you at this moment. How do you feel like when you wake up in the morning or when you go to bed or during the day while you go to work? What's going through your mind? What does your spirit do to you? I mean, do you feel any working in there? Does it feel like, sometimes I go through this where I say, there's something that's wrong in my life that I need to fix before Yah. Not always do we know what it is specifically, so we must go to Him in fervent prayer, and I'm going to go through this process. I'm going to take some time off from work, Yah willing, and I'm going to work with Him, because I know, I can feel how important it is. The time that we have is so little. Like I can't say how much time, but all I know is that I can feel the pressure is on, not just the pressure. It's like there's happenings, and it's happening really fast. It used to happen fast. When I came into this walk of life, it was fast for me, but it just kept on ramping up and going faster and faster. The things that is happening towards the end, that now it almost feels like I don't know if I can keep up. And that's exactly what the enemy wants, right? The enemy is now busy doing so much things, so much movement of confusion. I mean, just look at the children today. They are so confused. And the parents got confused a while ago, and therefore the parents are not stable enough for their children, so that the children's confusion can be helped by their parents, so that the parents can stand in for their children, go, my child, I can see that you are confused, let me help you. But no, the parents are also confused, and so it's very difficult for these children to find a place of, because Yah is not an Elohim of confusion, right? He's not a confusing God. He's a God of truth and righteousness, and in His word we find everything that we need. get unconfused. It's because it's a spirit. There's a spirit working. And once Yah comes in, the spirit has to flee, because where he is, there's light, and there is no darkness in him at all. So when he dwells in you, then the darkness flees. Enoch 69, verse 35. They glorify with all their power of praise, and he sustains them in all thanksgiving, while they laud, glorify, and exalt the name of Yahweh of the armies forever and ever. And with them he establishes this oath, by which they and their paths are preserved, nor does their progress perish. Great was their joy. They blessed, glorified, and exalted because of the name of the Son of Adam that was revealed to them. He sat upon the throne of his glory, and the principal part of the judgment was assigned to him, the Son of Adam. Sinners shall disappear and perish from the face of the earth, while those who seduce them shall be bound with chains forever. These are talking about the angels, the fallen angels, that will be bound in chains forever. One Samuel 30, verse 22. Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil that we have recovered, save to every man his woman and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. Then said David, ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which Yahweh has given us, who has preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. So this gives you the idea that there, according to prophecy, there is a different preservation that Yah will cause his people to go into. But he can also preserve your life right now while you are in battle, with people around you. Because we are in constant battle, even if you don't know it, even if you don't see it, there is a constant battle going on in the spirit. And yeah, it is true that if you are called by Yah, you will shine like a beacon of light in this world. You can't see that light shining. You can't see it because you are not living in that darkness. You see? But those of the darkness can see your light shining. And they want to quench that light. They want to shut it off. So we as believers need to not be so ignorant of this fact. we need to wake up a little bit more towards this spiritual warfare that we have to go into. Because the battle is on. As much as you don't want to battle anybody or anything, we don't have much of a choice. The enemy wants to put us down. And it's not time to give up yet. It's not time to stop fighting yet. And Yah won't put you in a position that you cannot handle. His word says so. So I think, if you find yourself watching this video and you needed to hear this word, then so maybe this is then a message. I don't call myself a prophet or anything like that, so I don't want you to think like I'm trying to be a prophet or anything like that. But this seems to be the underlying message that Yah is trying to not only give me, but obviously I'm doing this video, so it's for whoever opens up this video and starts to listen to it. If it feels like you can't anymore, it's only because the enemy is sitting at the table trying to convince you that you have to give up. And now it's up to you whether you will listen to the enemy that wants to convince you to give up, because the darkness will gather around you and continuously shoot arrows at you. And those arrows are, you're not good enough, you can't do this, you are getting tired. And I can continue on with all these words because it comes towards me as well. I have to continuously refresh my mind and understand that these words that come towards me is not of Yah. Because Yah says that you are my child, you are my son, or you are my daughter. That's huge. That in itself is massive. If you are the son of the living Father, or the daughter of the living Father, if Elohim is for you, who can be against you? Those are just words, right? Those arrows that the enemy shoot at you, it's just words that's trying to cause you to stop, to start procrastinating and to start doubting. Exactly the same thing that happened in the garden. Eve doubted that Yah said to not eat of this fruit, and therefore she took of the fruit. It was the doubt. The enemy has cast a slur to Yah's word, and therefore Eve doubted whether that was true or not. But you know by now, with the amount of information that you can get out of the word of Yah, you can't deny that the enemy wants to say another thing, but Yah says truth. Something that's undeniably truth. Let's go to Isaiah 31. I'll read from verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Yasharal, neither seek Yahuwah. Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men, and not El, they are not God, and their horses are flesh, and not spirit. So when you are with El, he comes with his army. His army are the army of angels, right? And they are spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helps shall fall, and he that is helped shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. For thus has Yahweh spoken unto me, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall Yahweh Sebaot, Yahweh of the armies, come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. As birds flying, so will Yahweh of the armies defend Jerusalem, New Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. And if you have watched any of my older videos, you will see that it was shown to me that New Jerusalem, and I mean anybody can see that, New Jerusalem is a people, right? It is when Yah will call everybody together, right? Then this New Jerusalem will come down. And if you look at everywhere where it's written, you can go look at it for yourself. You will see that it is built by men and women. It's a place that will be unexplainable to our current life that we have, and it's the time that's to come. It is not a capability for us to explain that yet, because we haven't seen it in physicality yet. Maybe there are some people, I mean, because the word of Yah says that he has shown this New Jerusalem to some, like Ezra. Yah has shown to Ezra New Jerusalem coming down, and he was so taken back is not even the word to use. He became like dead for seeing that. He needed the angel to help him up again after seeing that thing. So, and yeah, Peter does explain that we are all building blocks, right? And that's the same thing when he says that you are a peculiar people, a holy priesthood. Isaiah 49, verse 6, and he said, it is a light thing that you should be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give you for a light to the other nations, that you may be my salvation unto the end of the earth. Who's he talking about here? So it's Yahusha, right? Yahusha will restore the preserved of Yasharal, and Yahusha will also be the light for the other nations. That Yahusha will be the salvation unto the end of the earth. Thus says Yahweh, the Redeemer of Israel and his Holy One, to him whom man despises, to him whom the nation abhors, to a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship because of Yahweh, that is faithful, and the Holy One of Yasharal, and he shall choose you. Whoa, while reading this, all I'm seeing is it's amazing. It's like I can see how the earth gets destroyed. There'll be nothing left. Thus says Yahweh, in an acceptable time have I heard you, and in a day of salvation have I helped you, and I will preserve you. And give you for a covenant of the people to establish the earth, to inherit the desolate heritages. That you may say to the prisoners, go forth, to them that are in darkness, show yourselves. They shall feed in the ways, and their pastures shall be in all high places. Okay. Jeremiah 41, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. And he is not. That's interesting. Leave your fatherless children. Leave your fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let your widows trust in me. For thus says Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and are you he that shall altogether go unpunished? You shall not go unpunished, but you shall surely drink of it. So it says here that Yahweh will preserve the fatherless children. And let the widows trust in him. And it came to pass after these things, that I, Baruch, was standing upon Mount Zion, and lo, a voice came to the height, and said unto me, stand upon your feet, Baruch, and hear the word of Elohim, because you have been astonished at what has befallen Zion. You shall therefore be assuredly preserved to the consummation of times, that you may be for a testimony, so that if ever those prosperous cities say, why has El Elohim brought upon us this retribution? Say unto them, you and those like you, who shall have seen this evil, this is the evil retribution which is coming upon you and upon your people in its designed time, that the nations may be thoroughly smitten, and then they shall be in anguish. And if they say at that time, for how long? You will say to them, ye who have drunk the strained wine, drink ye also of its dregs, the judgment of the lofty one, who has no respect of persons. Yeah. 2 Baruch 50. For the earth shall then assuredly restore the dead which it now receives, in order to preserve them. It shall make no change in their form, but as it has received, so shall it restore them, and as I have delivered them unto it, so also shall it raise them. For then it will be necessary to show to the living that the dead have come to life again, and that those who had departed have returned again. And it shall come to pass then that they have severally recognized those whom they now know, then judgment shall grow strong, and those things which before were spoken of shall come. So this is to all the people that believe that we are already living in the millennial reign, because they say that we are in the new covenant. If you read this, please show me in all history that the dead has come to life, because if this is something that has to happen yet, because remember, Paul also said that there were some people who said that the resurrection has come already. See, it's the same kind of doctrine. If you say that we are already in the new covenant, then you are basically saying that the resurrection has happened already. Because the only way that we can enter into the new covenant is if that prophecy has happened and we are no longer in this season, but in the season that is to come. Because the millennial reign, the book of Revelation and Baruch and the prophets basically say that Yahusha will walk amongst us, and he will teach us. He will help us to see more than what we are able to see now. And he will teach us not a new language. I believe it's the first language. It's the language of creation. He will teach us that. And we will all know him, and prophecy we won't need prophecy anymore, because then it's not needed for prophecy. For Baruch 2:76, verse 1, and he answered and said unto me, inasmuch as the revelation of this vision has been interpreted to you, as you besought, hear the word of El Elyon, that you may know what is to befall you after these things. For you shall surely depart from this earth, nevertheless not unto death, but you shall be preserved unto the consummation of the times. Go up therefore to the top of that mountain, and there shall pass before you all the regions of that land, and the figure of the inhabited world, and the tops of the mountains, and the depths of the valleys, and the depths of the seas, and the number of the rivers, that you may see what you are leaving and whither you are going. So Yah can select certain people out of this world and preserve them until the consummation of times. Just keep that in mind. Psalm 25, verse 20. Oh, guard my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in you. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on you. Redeem Israel, O Elohim, out of all his troubles. I mean, just look at that. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on you. So let that linger in your mind, and remember that Yah will preserve you through his integrity and his uprightness. And we are striving towards that as well, right? We want to walk as he walked. This is not to run towards the fact that you're just saving yourself. Yes, we are like living in a, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Yes, that's good. But there is also things that you have to do for other people. And as the priestly order, the priestly rules was, so if you are now a peculiar people and, think of the fact that now you have the law of priestlyhood on you. So what was the priest supposed to do before they do anything for the people? They had to cleanse themselves. They had to become, sanctified. And then they were able to take the offers of the other people. So if you want to pray prayers to people like your close friends or family or your brothers and sisters in Yahuwah, in Yeshua, in Yahusha, then you have to be right with Yah. You have to, stay on that path. If you do sin, then work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Because if you are not right with Yah, how can you help anybody else around you? Psalm 31 verse 23. Love Yahuwah, all ye his... What is that word again? His beloved, called out ones, set apart children. All ye his set apart children, love Yahuwah. For Yahuwah preserves the faithful and he plentifully reward the proud doer. So we don't have to reward the proud doers by saying things to them, evil. You don't have to. Don't look like the world. The world does evil to evil, right? So somebody takes something from you, then you go and you take something from them, that kind of thing. That's how the world teaches us how to live. But the word of Yah teaches us that pray to your enemies. Bless them. Bless those that curse you. Yeah, it seems totally unnatural and like something that's like, you can't do it. It doesn't work like that. You haven't been taught to do that your whole life, right? When somebody curses you, curse them back. When somebody steals something from you, steal something back. When somebody does this, you do that back. It's that rule of the strong will survive, that type of thing, right? But it's not the same for us. We don't curse back. We bless. Because He preserves the faithful and He rewards the evildoers. You don't even have to say anything to them. You don't have to say, well, Yahweh will come and do something to you. You don't have to say that. Because Yah will do what Yah will do to the the proud, the evildoers. He will do what He will do, because His word says He will do something to them. And if His word says He will do something to the evildoers, He's going to do it. So we don't even have to say to them, oh, my God is going to do something to you. No, then you are no longer in the same basket. When you say that, then you have fallen into their basket. You see? So we must not become prideful. Okay? Look at the parable of the branches, right? So it is written that you must not become prideful because you have been grafted in. Don't become prideful because you are grafted in. Because you can be taken out instantly, and those branches that's lying on the floor can be put back into, because they are the true branch, So just keep that in mind as well. Psalm 36 verse 6, righteousness is like the great mountains. Your judgments are a great deep, O Yahweh. You preserve men and beasts. Psalm 40 verse 11, withhold not your tender mercies from me, O Yahweh. Let your loving kindness and your truth continuously preserve me. So His truth also preserves you, right? And that's kind of the thing that we are starting to see, this pattern while I'm reading through all of these things about preservation, right? Psalm 61, 7, He shall abide before Elohim forever. O prepare mercy and truth, which may preserve him. Hear my word, O Elohim. That's 64. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. How will it preserve? Because there's mercy and there's truth. And as a believer, we believe He has mercy for us. We believe in the truth that He's giving us, and we live according to that. And that belief is the place where you need to be, and there you will be preserved. Psalm 79 verse 11, let the singing of the prisoner come before you according to the greatness of your power. Preserve those that are appointed to die. There's another one. right? Proverbs 20 verse 28, mercy and truth preserve the king, and his throne is upheld by mercy. Wow. Okay. 22 verse 12, the eyes of Yahweh preserve knowledge, and he overthrows the words of the transgressor. This is Ecclesiasticus 20. It is much better to reprove than to be angry secretly, and he that confesses his fault shall be preserved from hurt. That's also another one. So confess your sins before Yah. Ask for forgiveness and forgive those that sinned against you, because he cannot forgive you if you cannot forgive. Ezra 8, but what keeps and is kept shall both be preserved, and when the time comes, the womb preserved delivers up the things that grew in it. For you have commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breast milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breast, that the thing which is fashioned may be nourished for a time, till you dispose it to your mercy. You brought it up with your righteousness, and nurtured it in your Torah, and reformed it with your judgment, and you shall mortify it as your creature, and quicken it as your work. If therefore you shall destroy him which with so great labor has fashioned it, is it an easy thing to be ordained by your commandment, that the thing which was made might be preserved? Now therefore, Yahweh, I will speak touching man in general. You know best, but touching your people, for those for whose sake I am sorry. So there's something that Ezra is mentioning there, that Yah can, fashion you from very little, and then when you are born, he will give you the milk, right? So it's like you grow up in this world and you don't know much about Yah yet, and then this day comes that you give your life to Yah, and then he starts giving you this milk, and then when the milk comes to an end, right, you live under his mercy, and you live in his ways, because the milk taught you the beginning of his ways. Then more comes in. It's all the same thing, but it gets a little bit, it goes deeper. Then you start eating the meat, right? And the most important thing about this is if we come to a certain point, then the enemy will start to really attack you. They will come with friends, with family, if you are a single man or a single woman, will come to attack you with a husband or a wife. But Yah has called us to peace, right? So just keep that in mind as well. Now, I hope that this has helped somebody out there. Always give thanks and honor and glory to our Father that's in heaven. Praise and honor his holy and righteous name. Yah, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Echad. In the name of His Son, Yeshua the Messiah, Yahushua Messiah, we thank Him for what He has done, and that He is able to preserve us through all of the things that is about to happen and that has happened already. Shalom, people.